So I thought I'd like to share some things I found out about the DT Swiss 240 hubs, which had me a little bit confused for a while. So if you take a hub like this, which is brand new, unbuilt, and you try and twist the bearings, they might feel a little bit stiff or not as smooth as you might expect. And if you go to the DT Swiss website, you can see they give you an explanation of how the preload works. And basically the hollow axle in the middle of the hub that's on the bearings compresses slightly when you put the hub into the bike and clamp the rear axle, or the axle. And you can simulate that by putting a bolt through here. My rear axle, it said about 9 to 13 Newton meters on there. So I've got this one set to about 13, and so if we tighten that up, so it's about 13 Newton meters that you might have on your frame. And actually the bearings, so this is what had me a bit confused. The bearings here don't actually feel that different, and there seems to be some, depending on exactly what bearings are fitted to the hub and the hub you've got, you might find it's a bit of difference between different hubs. So this one's been ridden a little bit, maybe less than 100 kilometers, but a couple of quite wet rides. And when I took it out of the bike to clean everything, the bearings did feel very, very stiff, and you can see they're still quite stiff here. And I thought I had grit in the bearings or something like that, so I took it all apart to try and clean it out a bit, but still they were very stiff. And I even tried putting a very small spacer, and that's actually just a wire off a brake cable, behind the non-dry side bearing and that did make it much smoother to rotate with the hub out of the bike. Unfortunately, when you compress the axle, it was actually stiff again, so we'll do that up to about 13 Newton meters, as if it's in the bike. And now, actually, you can find the bearings are feel a lot smoother, much nicer. So it does seem to be some variation between different hubs. I'm not sure if it's the bearings that are fitted. So although this wheel's only done maybe 100 kilometers, it does feel quite stiff like that, but as we saw with the axle through there, it actually feels a lot better. There does seem to be quite a lot of variation. I've got a few other hubs here. So this one we saw earlier was this is completely unbuilt, and actually turns quite reasonably. Got another one here. This is on a boost hub, but it's still a 240. And again, yeah, that feels not actually too bad. When you clamp it up, it actually feels quite good as well. So I don't know if there's a different type of bearing between these two different hubs. And then here's a third one, which is got a different badge on it, or different. It's got a different sticker on it, but it's essentially a 240. And this one, yeah, it's not quite as, it doesn't feel smooth, but again, if we put the axle through it and do it up to what it would be like in the bike, so there it's actually much smoother. So this probably is worth paying attention to the torque that you do your rear axle up to with, and there might be, depending on your wheel, there might be you might want more or less torque depending on the bearings and stuff. So it's just something I found out about before you start panicking about the bearings being a bit rough, even on a brand new hub. Try loading up the axle, or try loading up the hub as if it was in the bike, and see if it's stiff still. Thanks for watching, bye.